All right, good morning. Welcome to the London session. I hope you're doing well. It's Thursday and it's almost end of the week again. Today, I don't think I'm expecting higher prices on dollar. We've been going up for some time, and this last run here looks a little bit suspicious. The fact that it just went vertical, right? It looks suspicious. So today is going to be a kind of a crucial day to see how they're closing above this high, right? Is it just going to go up there and then reject, or is it gonna continue? So I kind of don't have any levels in mind going forward on this time frame. We do have this one here, but I'm focusing on this one for now, that we are above that. It might run for that as well, and if it does, that's going to be crazy because everybody expected dollar to go down, including myself, right? I was expecting dollar to come up and then drive down to attack this low, but it seems that dollar is not willing to come down. Okay, so looking at price right now, maybe one more punch above that one. Today being Thursday, it's going to be a bit of a wait and see day, because they usually can form the high of the week. So we're not far away from this level, right? They might take it up above that and then drop down. So I'm expecting continuation. I don't want to anticipate a reversal, right? So I'm expecting a continuation. If I see the reversal, I'll go with it. Okay. So right now, this morning, we have price trading at this order block here, that down candle there, in London. So I'm expecting it to go up again. That means euro should come back down. So on euro, we'll be looking for a run below this low here. All right. Now, if you go below this low, it's looking very scary, but we don't care because we just want to trade the movement, right? Economically, it might be not good for the euro, but we don't look at those things. It might affect us in the physical life in terms of goods export and import, but we will survive. Okay, we will survive. So look at this imbalance on the monthly. We dipped into it just a little bit, so I think we might get price to continue going down today. So if we do, those are the levels there: 1.03612, 1.03436. right? That's the next downside objective. So look for continuation to the downside. Nothing, don't look for reversals, just focus on the continuation to the downside. On the H4 for this morning, they took out this high here, right, and then breaking down. It might be a trade setup on the lower time frame. Let me check the 2 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, so maybe a run below this low or a close below this low, and then you can start looking for sales to continue going down. Okay, yesterday I'm gonna show you a trade that I took on the British pound. It was a lovely trade. I used the same what I'm showing you here, a run above H4 high and a sell-off. So if you go below that low, then you can anticipate some form of a pullback and then a follow through to the downside. British pound this morning had a burst to the upside, and I think with this price action in here, it's giving the pound pairs strength. The fact that they were able to run above this and close above it on a H1 basis over here is giving strength to the pound pairs. So pound Aussie, pound euro pound, especially this one here, euro pound, it's gonna send it lower. I did take a sell on that one this morning, but I think it's gonna send it lower. I'm not gonna touch this because I don't like the price action in here. It's not clean enough for me. Plus they've just rallied above this high here, and since I'm expecting dollar to continue going higher, right, this is going to go sideways and I don't want to be in it. Okay, so the best pair probably to sell short is the euro and the New Zealand, because both pairs are giving you weakness, whilst the pound and the Aussie they're giving strength. Okay, so with that said, pound, I'm not gonna touch it unless I see something that I like. I'm not gonna touch it, so I'm gonna leave this one alone. The trade that I took yesterday was here. I still have the markings over there. So yesterday, during the New York session, or getting into the New York session, they did run this H4 high here, right, and then broke market structure right there. So I took a sell and then I collapsed the trade. I collapsed 70% here, and then it pulled back, and I didn't want to get that movement back into my entry, so I closed everything. And then this morning I woke up, I saw it came back down again. So I got a really nice trade on pound, which is what I'm kind of suspecting on this one here, right? A run above the H4 high, a breakdown that can give you its similar setup to what I'm showing you here from yesterday. New Zealand dollar, this is the one I was saying you can sell short, right? It's similar to what I did on the pound yesterday. So they've just run above the previous day's high, previous 4-hour high, and we are yet to break down on the lower time frame. So somewhere in there, a break. Let's go back to the pound. How similar is that? Right after the H4 run, it's just consolidated, but ultimately run back down to attack this low. How similar is this one? Right, they run above that and it's kind of playing around, so I'm expecting it to reject and come back down. You can take it if you want to. What you don't want to see is 1 hour close above it. So 1 hour running the high, is good. We don't want the 1 hour to run above it or close above it. So as long as we get that break in market structure, whilst we are still in London, right, this blue shaded area, whilst we are still in there, you can look for a sell. Aussie, this is the one I said stay away, because it's showing you strength today, right? They managed to close on the H1 basis above this high, so I'm not looking to sell. We did get a sell, I think, on Wednesday. Got a sell yesterday here, and the target was this low, this one and that one. We got 2 of them and couldn't get to the last one. So the last one is an imbalance on the daily time frame. Oops. Balance on the daily time frame. Sorry, not imbalance. It's a low on the daily time frame. I was looking at these 2 here, but it's just a low on the daily time frame. So looking at this, I don't think this is optimal trade entry to go higher. I think it's gonna go and run that low here, right? It's gonna go and run that low, but for today it's kind of holding for Aussie to gain some strength on some of the cross pairs. So instead of taking a trade on this one, there is strength in Aussie, so you can use that strength to trade something else. Say if you go to Euro Aussie or Euro New Zealand, which I'm gonna put them here. Okay, Euro Aussie and Euro New Zealand. Because of that strength on Aussie, you can trade this one and you can trade that one. So I'm personally looking for this to go down based on what the daily is giving me. Okay, the daily did run previous day's high, and then broke down, pull back, fair value gap down. So I'm anticipating this to continue going down to attack these equal lows here. So with the strength in Aussie, this is what you can do with it instead of trading that one. Okay, so leave this alone and then trade the other one. Let's go back to Euro and see what Euro is up to. Let's go to the 2 minutes chart. A 1 minute chart. Okay, watch this one instead. Okay. Yeah, watch this one instead. Okay, it's the 1 hour low. Watch that one instead. Once we take it out, okay, once we take this low out, watch this imbalance in here and that auto block up there. Okay, because it might retrace back into that before going down. So don't sell short straight away. Once it breaks down, wait for it to pull back. Then you sell short there. It might not give it to you, but I think it's the right way to go about it. Okay, I think it's the right way to go about it. So wait patiently, unless you understand price and then you took a sell up there. Here is no good because you expose yourself to this imbalance in here. All right, so that's that. Let's go back to these ones. I think it's gonna trade for that low. So this imbalance in here, right? Watch that. I'll leave stop loss above that high. Right, and then I'll target this. If it trades back above this candle's high, you sell short. Leave your stop loss. You can leave it here, but this one being there, I don't trust it being right there. So I'll look for a high, the stop above this, and then I'll anticipate that, something like that. There and then there. So target 1, 75% off, and then you leave the rest to see if they can get to target 2. Okay, I like this one because of the weakness in the euro pound. Okay, let's go back to euro. All right, no problem. Euro pound, this is what I was talking about. I took a sell and I left my stop loss above, which high? This high, or this one here. If we go above that, then the trade is invalid, but as long as we're below that, I think it's gonna trade down here. That's what I think it's gonna trade to. I have my TP just below the low there, so let's see if they can give this for today. The framework is coming off from this order block here. Once we hit it, they show willingness to go down, so I'm just trying to get an entry inside this candles going down. All right, so my entry was based on price coming for where was it? So 1 hour, okay, this one here. So once we hit London, it created this order block there. So I was selling that, but because these down candles are still here, right, my stop loss went above this bearish order block, because if it's good, it can trade back and bump into it, which is what it did. This move here, let me draw a line. Okay, it traded back into that one down there and then rejected. Why? Because as long as we're below that, what makes this one a bearish order block? If I zoom in, you see why. Because we were able to close below that one. Okay, so that makes this one a bearish order block, so it can trade back into it and still be valid to go down. Hence, at the same time, they had a fair value gap in here, which is within that candle and that one. Hence, it's gonna reject and go lower. Now, once you trade through this last up candle, that also will become a bearish order block, and if it trades back into it, you can sell short again. All right, so you can highlight this candle's low. Once we close below this candle, preferably the same candle to do it. If it doesn't, no problem, the next candle. But once you close below that low, like this one here, you want to sell short, because this will become a bearish order block, all these up candles, and you can sell short. And sometimes it might leave a fair value gap somewhere in here. If it leaves a fair value gap, then you can sell short that fair value gap. Okay, and then target this candle's high here, and then just below it there's a small little gap. That's where I'm getting out. Okay, and that's where I want to get out, but you can take partial there if you're not scared of this one, because that one, it might just bump just below that and then retrace, and you have to sit through that. Now, because this is also in premium, you can do this low to that high, and then use that 50% as a profit target, right? So there's so many ways you can slice and dice this here in terms of targeting, right? You can use that one, you can use this, or you can use the 50%, and then the rest is gonna go to optimal trade entry. So this will be where you can take the rest of your profit off, preferably here. And what I'm thinking is that we had this high, that low, and then we made a new high. So somewhere in there, if it gives a buy opportunity, maybe I'll go for it and then see what happens. At the same time, we have this high and that low and this high, so it can swing any way, right? It can swing any direction, whether from here to there or here to there. So it's not pretty clear, right? So that's why you take partial, you leave the rest, see how price trades, and then you follow price action. Don't have a set fixed, say it's gonna do this, because it can change its mind. All right, so that's what we have on this pair. Let me take you quickly to pound Swiss, because I like what I'm seeing right here. You can see I have this candle's high highlighted in London this week. This was where I anticipated. I took I took one win and two losses, and I'm currently in a buy here to go up there because at the beginning of the week that's what I was anticipating, but between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they've done some dodgy stuff in here, right? And then finally they've tipped their hands, they want to go higher. So I've got a buy on this order block here, expecting price to go up. So long on this down candle, that imbalance is a partial, and then the equal high of about 45 pips for that high, and above that we have is it can run back up and take out this high. It can run back up, take out that high, and then trigger a drop like the pound did yesterday. All right, so you can frame so many ideas around just this very candle in here, okay? Especially whilst we are still in London. It's 10 o'clock, so it's still good time to get an entry. From 11, that's not a good time to be entering. Then you have to wait till probably New York session, because maybe New York is when they're gonna seriously send it down, like always, right? So watch this. That now, if you don't have this indicator, just go on to indicators and then type in FVG nephew Sam, and it should give it to you. Okay, so that's that. Gold, let's see what gold did. Okay, gold is not bad. Not bad. I had what I was looking for this week, right? Selling short up here, targeting this and that. I think Monday, if you were here, that's what we were looking for. This gap here, first entry, that gap there, second entry, targeting the previous month low and the imbalanced here, right? And they've given that nicely. Today they've just managed to close above. After hitting that imbalance, they've closed above this, so I think it's gonna trade up into, you can get rid of that. You can trade up in here. And there. So from here, that's your target on gold. Okay, from where we are right now, this is where you can trade to, and it can reject and go down again, because on the daily it's still bearish, right? But on the H4, it's giving you signal that it's gonna potentially retrace. Why? Because we have an order block here, right? So it can retrace back into it and then go up there, but not necessarily continue going up. For it to go all the way up again, then we need price to give us a close above the down candle, which with the dollar index going up, I don't think that would be the case. So you can get a scalp on this one, and then maybe even take a sell up there to continue the downtrend. Okay, so in terms of looking for entries, let's see where you can. Not bad level with that fair value gap there, right? So that can give you a nice optimal trade entry in here. Right, and then you target that level there, and then that one. So those two levels, and I'll just do this. Because of this small imbalance in here, it can take out this low, hit that, and then go up, which I don't see that, but it can, because it's still within this down candle in here. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting on gold this morning. In terms of long term, I think it's going to continue going down, and you can take a sell up in here as the target of the buy, and then look to continue going down. Oops. Okay, let's go to silver. Okay, silver has traded to that weekly imbalance. You guys on YouTube probably wouldn't have an idea, because that was something we identified on yesterday, that it was going to trade into that. I'm not sure if I did give it to you on Tuesday, but now that they've traded to it, we want to see the reaction. It's not big enough to cause a retracement, but I don't like the way this pair is moving down. Okay, it's not like this, right? So when it's like that, usually it's kind of accumulating longs, okay, because people are trying to buy it and then they sell it against them, trying to buy it and then they sell against them. So that buying, selling, the sells are all the accumulations, right, or absorbing buys. So I'm not really keen on this for a sell because of the way it's moving down, and I'm not keen on it for a buy either because it can keep just doing the same thing. So I'm gonna leave this alone for today. Gold is good because of this H4 auto block. If I had something like that on this, then maybe yes, I can play with that, but I don't. So if you want to focus on gold. Crude oil. So crude oil, I'm bullish from the start of the week, or I've been bullish since Monday, and we happen to get an entry on Monday. We've taken partial at this candle's low. Is that here? We've taken the first partial at this candle's low. The second partial is up here, and ultimately we're expecting price to go up here. So there we go. On the daily, this is how it looks like. All right, so we're anticipating a run above that and above that, which we anticipated this as a optimal trade entry. And it's kind of reversing. So let's see if they'll continue. And yesterday we also had this as a second entry again, if anyone wanted to buy it. There was a small gap in here that in case this one failed, then we would have used that to buy it, but that one did held, and we currently up here. So we're expecting price to run that at least maybe today, and then going into Friday maybe a run above this. If not, then that would be something that we will have to take over to next week. How do I have red candles? Yes, it's the same thing. It's this here, Nephew Sam auto blocks. If you go to indicators and then you put in Nephew Sam, right, auto blocks, it's gonna bring out this one, and you just choose the color. I just prefer red and green. You can choose whatever color you like. You can make it purple. You can make it whichever color you like. I'm just, because of my blue and black, the red and green stands out. If I change my colors to maybe red and black, like the traditional one, then maybe you can make this one white and pink or something. Okay, all right, let me go back and check where we are reversing from. Okay, and so we've done crude oil. Dollar CAD, this was a level I anticipated yesterday, and I was looking for it to go up and take out this high and that one, as long as we are above this candle, that's still the narrative. It's just stuck in the consolidation, lower time frame consolidation, and it took our previous day's high as well, so maybe not a good day to participate in this one. If you want to, I'm bullish. I've not changed my bias. As long as this low here is still intact, I'm bullish. If they go below this low, then I'll change my bias, maybe to a short-term retracement into just a small gap in here. So depending on how they go below this, does it break it, or does it go with a wick, dip into this and then reject? That's also something to consider, because it can take out previous day's low, hit that, and then come back up again with that same candle, right? And if it does that, usually it's going to be a stop run, and then you can buy any order block that creates after it runs that low. Okay, Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think they're gonna continue going down. Yesterday I mentioned that this is gonna pull back into that one there and then still make its way back down. So that's what I'm expecting on Bitcoin. Same thing with Ethereum. So anticipate one more drop, and then maybe you start looking for potential after the drop. Maybe we'll start looking for potential retracements, but for now, reversals. For now, we are still looking for that high to send price back down again. It could happen. If it's gonna do it, I prefer this one, because we have a bearish order block on this pair. Because we have a bearish order block on this one, I would prefer this. So inside this last up candle, we have a void. Right, so you can close in the void and then drop. Let's see. Watch this one here. Watch that one. That low imbalance there. It might probably not close in the void, and then it drop from there. Look at the way it's going up, right? It's not convincing. So if it's gonna come back down, it's gonna be maybe one straight down candle like that, wipe everything out in here. Okay, so look at this, that, because that's where I would expect price to reverse from, either here or there. So if that's the case, then you can anticipate a breaker forming, so you can use that to sell short, or up here. Okay, and that, my friends, will bring me to the end of these ones. Let's go to that. Okay, we ended the H4 candle, this one. We've opened a new one. So what you're gonna be looking for, it's we've opened, rally, drop. So watch that high, as I said. Okay, and also watch this one. There's two imbalances on the day, on the 1 hour. It's this one here. Okay, on the 1 hour, it's, yeah, both of them. So both of them are good levels. You can use the first one. If it goes to the second one, you can sell short again, and then expect price to drive down again. All right. And you can also sell short this one because the narrative was a run above previous day's high, big range candle, close down. So we expect price to continue going lower. I've given you the target, this low, and potentially that low as well. So this is just a 10 o'clock candle. One of these gaps is gonna hold price and then send it lower. Let's go back to this. I've already given you the narrative on that. This one has surprised me. This pair has surprised me this week. Last week we closed with this, and then Monday we dropped down quickly. So with that drop, I was anticipating a continuation to the downside to come here. There was some nice lows in here. This one, that one, and this. So I was anticipating that because I was seeing a market maker sell model with that big drop. Okay, with that drop there, I was anticipating a market maker sell model to come and tag these equal lows, but I got it wrong and they reversed. I was still convinced up in here, even though we had that massive pullback, I was still convinced we're gonna go down. They proved me wrong, so I just have to stick with what price is giving. We still have this high as they draw on the liquidity on the high time frame. High, low, high, breakdown as a pullback, and then it's gonna go and attack that high. So I still have that high as, you know, my draw on liquidity. It's just that I wanted a bit of a pullback before it goes there, and that didn't happen. So this is gonna continue going up. The level you can use for a buy is just too vertical. Yeah, I don't have anything on this one for an entry. Not on this time frame, not on that. If it pulls back here, but I don't think it will. It can. If it does, then that would be a nice buy. Right, apart from that, I don't have anything. But on the high time frame, I think it's gonna draw up into this high. Oops. That's what I think is going here. Right, so if you do have any system that can get you into this as it's going up, then by all means use it. Okay, and I'm gonna check the indices. let's check the indices and then we'll be done for today. Okay, indices is still kind of bearish. Hey. Okay, they've left equal lows down here and then price is going up this low, and okay, let me go to that low. This will look better. This lows in here, that's the equal low. I think this is just a pullback. If you look on the H4, it might make sense. This high to that low, and it's pulling back into this imbalance. So I'm expecting one more leg to the downside. Nasdaq, same thing. S&P, same thing. These two are preferable, or I prefer these two, and then just leave this one alone. What you can do with this also is previous day's high, if you want to use that as the PD array, and then if it breaks down, you can do that as well for the continuation to the downside. But I like these two because they are bearish and it's coming down, coming up for a retracement. For them to go higher now, price will have to break above this high, right? Hence you can leave your stop loss above that, or wait for a break-in structure on the lower time frame and then find an entry somewhere in there. Let me extend this one out. Okay, hit that. Okay, so that's it from me. Anyone has any pair you want me to look at? If you have any pair you want me to look at, let me know. I'll have a look. If you have any question, feel free to ask and I'll do my best. Nasdaq. That's Nasdaq here. That's the one I said you can use optimal trade entry, right? Because on the daily time frame, we're still bearish, right? Well, currently we're still bearish. It's trading back into this order block here, right? So by default you can also extend this area out, which was a previous order block. They've gone through that, so in here it should act as resistance and then go down. So you can use optimal trade entry. Actually hit 70.5, so that's not bad level. you know, there, and then expect price to come back down again. Or like I said, you can wait for a lower time frame to break market structure, and then once you get that, you can then buy. You can then sell. Okay, if you wait for a breaking structure on the lower time frame to give you a true breaking structure. So what that means is whatever time frame you use to trade, if you use the 15, then find your high breaking market structure. So if you use the 15, you have to identify this on the 15 minutes, then you sell short. If you use the 5 minutes, use that same thing, then you sell short. Yes, you use premium and discount levels. So what is in premium in relative to the H4? Let me remove all this. Currently, as you look at price, what's in premium on the H4? Because we are dealing with the H4 range right now. The daily is just bearish, so we are dealing with the H4 range right now, right? So this high to this low is our dealing range. So this is a pullback. This is the last up candle, but for price to get all the way up there, if you're familiar with the PD array matrix, then for price to get up there, first of all, we will have to get through the void, which is this one here. We don't have a breaker, so we had a mitigation, which we've gone through it. So the void and bearish order block and the high, right? So that's your premium levels, okay? But price doesn't always have to fill that in. It can just stop here and go lower. So if it's gonna do that, you can anticipate a break-in structure and then go down, but relative to time of the day. So the time that you want to be looking for this, because London is done, is the New York session, which starts at 1. So I'll start looking that here. All right, not where we are now, because it's not time yet. Okay, you have to wait till 1, then you can start looking at the entry or the breakout to form. Right now it's lunchtime, London lunchtime, so wait till 1, then start looking for it. Don't trade it now. Is that okay? So when you're trading the indices, you want to trade it during the New York session. That's the best time to do it because it's an index, right? So most of the time it's gonna be traded during that, especially Nasdaq. If you're trading, let's say the German 40 or the DAX, then you can trade it in London, which most of the time it moves in both sessions. But for the US indices like the Nasdaq, S&P, and Dow, those three you usually want to trade it during the New York session because that's when it's very, very liquid and lots of movement will happen during that time. Any idea on GJ? Let's go and have a look. I haven't looked at GJ in a while. Okay. It's confusing. Yep. I understand. I understand why it's confusing. I understand why it's confusing. Yeah. Don't trade it. Right? It's a bit confusing what it's trying to do. So I'll avoid it. I can't figure out what it's trying to do. Right? I can't figure out what it's trying to do. This is a monthly open. It only came back to monthly open and then it's going back up. It didn't trade into any form of level that I can say it, because of that is why it's doing this. But on the high time frame, it's actually still bullish. So maybe the only thing I can say is it took out, previous week's low, but that will still not make sense. Yeah, just avoid it for now. I know why you took this high to that low. In optimal trade entry, maybe had this low here as your breaker, and maybe you sold short there, and it just ran you out because your stop loss was above here. It's very predictable, right? That's usually what will happen. Or you had this high to that low and you sold optimal trade entry with a stop above there. So yeah, it's very it's everywhere. I wouldn't trade it. Have you started your H? Yes, I am trading it on a. So I have FTMO trial. I'm doing an FTMO trial, not the real one. We have the trial, and then you have the you can do a 2 weeks trial, right? And then you can trade the normal one if you buy it. So I'm doing a 2 weeks trial, and currently I'm up 2%. I need to make 5%, so I'm up 2% on that. And I'm also trading at my personal funded account, and that I'm also up 2% using that same thing, right? Using that same strategy. I took a couple of losses last week, that's why. But I'm only using a 0.25 risk. Okay, so if I was using 1%, then I'll be up 8%, but I'm using a 0.5. Sure, just, it's there for the you can improve it by doing lots of back testing, so that you know what day of the week you're gonna do it, because the day of the week sometimes matters, the time of the day you're gonna do it. So the pattern itself works, is there, but how you can improve it and avoid times that it's not going to work, it's where the work is going to be. So you have to kind of put in a bit of work to know when to apply it and when not to apply it, right? That's where you're going to do a bit of work. But apart from that, the framework is very solid for day trading and scalping. If I show you dollar CAD, right, the dollar CAD that I was talking about, okay, this dollar CAD here was a typical, right? This order block here, if we break it down into the lower time frame, let's use this one. Let's hit that. Let's remove this, hide this. All right, so this order block here, okay, if we drop down, we find the imbalance there, right? And then you can obviously go into the lower time frames and find the lower time frame imbalances for your sniper entries. So if I go through it, let's see, 2 minutes, and 1 minute, like that one there, small little one there, gonna highlight that one. It's a tiny little gap, right? I like that. And then maybe this candle's low as well, right there. So I would like to enter along these two imbalances. Okay, let's get rid of that. I like these two imbalances, so with that small one there, I'll leave my stop loss below that because I don't want to be tagged. So I'll leave my stop loss below that and expect price to come back up to where price started retracing from, right? So price started retracing from there. So I'm gonna place it here if we start retracing from there. Alright, let's check that. Check that. Oops. We got it. So that's the 1 minute time frame, and it did that. I think yesterday I was out of the house and it came to that level. I went to play soccer. Last game of the season. We had our last game of the season last night. So it's gonna go to a higher time frame because this is taking forever. Bam, there, right there. So you got the second entry did not trigger, so get rid of that. That's what you got, 3.11. Oh yeah, we did win. We won. It was a tough game. The pitch was very bad. The pitch was very bad. We won 5-2. We won 5-2. So that's that on that H4. So that's a trade like that. That's it. You get sniper entry like this. You take your TP. You're done. I will. I'm not gonna talk about it today. Next time I'll talk about it and I'll show you how you can do it on the 1 hour as well. Okay. What's your view on GU? Looking at 1.24380, 1.24000. Draw on liquidity. Let's have a look on GU. Yep, mine is 1.244001. I'm using the daily. Right, I like to refer from the daily. So on the daily time frame, I think there is an imbalance in here. So that's what I'm referring to, 1.24401. So your first 1.243, use the daily, right? Because the imbalance on the daily would be the first for price to hit. Okay, so use that. It looks like the British pound did not close above the H4. I swear, and I thought it did. So that's a stop run. That's a stop run on that. So a close below this 1 hour candle should set the stage for a scalp for New York session. Let's watch this one here. I think New York section is going to be interesting today. It's gonna be fun. Lots of movement. Yeah. Yeah, I don't subscribe to those things, Wyckoff. I just use the understanding of highs. But there is some kind of logic around the candles itself. So if you can pay attention to the wow, this one just completely wiped down again. I think I like you, Aussie. Let's remove this. I just apply the 1, 2, 3 drives. So something like this: 1, 2, 3 drive, and then a pop to close above the last high. That to me is a break in structure. So you can call this Wyckoff accumulation, but I'm not using that PS, that I can't even remember, SC, selling climax, PS, and all that. I'm not using that. I'm just using the 3, we call it the 3 Indian drives. So 1, 2, 3, then a run. I see that as a breaking structure. A pullback, then I'll be interested in a buy, but not in this sort of downtrend whilst dollar is raging higher. I saw the rate on the stops. The original imbalance. Okay. Let's see. If you allow me to go to that lower time frame to see that, then maybe, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay. Four, 380. 4380. Yeah, that's right. I think because I was on the daily time frame, I couldn't find the exact low. That's why. But you're right. The actual level is 4380. So that's not bad sell. Just hold on to it. Let's see. think I should have sold short this one, but that was a decent one, right? Remember earlier I said this one, if it breaks that low, you can sell short. I think I should have sold that one. Let's see where the dollar is now. Yeah, that's, I think you got a good sell. Hold on to it. I'll see if New York session does not take out this high and it pulls back those, if this one pulls back, because I like this, then I'll jump on that. Okay, cool. Alright guys, I've overstayed my time, so I'm gonna end here. I'm gonna get some breakfast and then I'm gonna come back for New York session. We got gold. Yeah, I'll come back for New York session. I think London is done. If you didn't catch an entry in London, that's it. Euro did take out that low and pull back to that level and then down. Okay, YouTube, I'll see you guys on Monday, and for you guys I'll see you at 2. All right.